They say the suburbs are quiet for a reason. Maybe it's because everyone's too busy pretending nothing ever happens behind those perfectly trimmed lawns, paint that still looks wet, mailboxes lined up like sentries guarding secrets. But if there's one thing I learned, trouble doesn't always come with sirens. Sometimes it just rings your doorbell, acting like it belongs. That morning started like any other, with the softest slice of sunlight creeping across my kitchen floor. My battered espresso machine grumbled to life. Honestly, every day I expect that old thing to explode, but somehow it never does, which is kind of how I feel most mornings. Still here, still holding it together, hoping that maybe the quiet outside would finally soak through these walls and into my bones. I'm Jake Mercer, 41, retired SWAT, or at least that's what folks around here think. The truth is, you never retire from work like that. You just trade in your badge for habits you can't shake. You keep your back to the wall, eyes on the windows, ears tuned for the footsteps that don't belong. After so many years teaching rookies how to stay alive, I've been trying to remember what peace sounds like. My house sits at the end of a cul-de-sac, white siding, black shutters, a porch that creaks like it's warning you about the weather. I bought it because it looked safe, like the kind of place bad things wouldn't dare to visit. Joke's on me. That morning, I poured my coffee slow, one eye on the window's reflection, letting the smell ground me in the moment. For a few heartbeats, I almost felt normal. But quiet never lasts. My mind always brings back the warehouse in Tulsa, the fake cop who didn't even know how to hold a gun, the way Denny bled out because some idiot bought a badge online and thought that made him the law. That memory never leaves me. So I made a promise. If I ever saw that kind of stupid again, the kind that gets good people hurt, I'd put a stop to it before it started. No speeches. Just the law, plain and simple. That's why I like quiet mornings. They're the only time I can breathe. My daughter used to say, "Dad, you drink coffee like it's church." She was right. It's a ritual, a kind of prayer for normalcy. That morning, I was in mid-prayer when I felt it, a heaviness in the air, like the world was holding its breath. Cops call it the pause, that second before everything goes sideways. The street outside was still, except for my neighbor's sprinkler ticking away. Two doves perched on the power line, clueless about the storm about to land in the middle of paradise. The espresso machine sputtered out its last hiss, and I took that as a blessing. Still alive, I told it. Then, ding-dong. The kind of ring that doesn't sound like a friend, or even a delivery guy. Too measured, too practiced. I set my mug down, my pulse steadying instead of racing. Old instincts kicking in. Don't move until you know the field. I checked the door monitor. 3 men in black windbreakers, fake HOA badges that looked like they'd been printed at the Office Max on sale, standing like they were auditioning for a cop show nobody wanted to watch. Their SUV idled at the curb, no markings, just an engine running and egos leaking power. One had his hands behind his back, the other sunglasses in the shade, the last one pacing like he'd forgotten how to stand still. The lead guy knocked. 2 hard raps, not polite, more like he was challenging the door itself. "Sir, this is a scheduled compliance check. Please step outside." Compliance check? That's new. These HOA types love inventing titles, like putting a name on a threat makes it less ridiculous. I watched. No radios, no backup. Just local boys with too much time, sent here to make a point. I already knew who sent them. Karen Drayden, the queen of this suburban castle. She'd left me 3 warnings about my flag and my mailbox. Never once came by in person. Now, she was escalating. The men outside rehearsed authority, but all I saw were bad actors in a play with no audience. Through the door, I kept my voice flat. "Can I help you?" The tall one leaned in. Multiple violations, flag display, debris, and reported verbal aggression toward board members. "Step outside." His phrasing was all wrong, like he'd cribbed it from a TV script. I asked, "Which department are you with?" A pause. "That's not relevant. We're here on behalf of the HOA's Safety Subcommittee." Safety Subcommittee. I nearly laughed. Their badges caught the sun, cheap, laminated, clip art eagles, not a serial number in sight. "Gentlemen, impersonating a law enforcement officer is a felony, you know." The leader's lips twitched. "We're not impersonating anyone, sir. We're executing our duties." Duties? The word always means somebody's about to make a mistake. I checked the camera angle. 3 men, 1 car, no real plan. I recognized one of them. Rick Donnelly. I trained him at the academy. Washed out in 3 weeks. Couldn't handle authority, so now he borrowed it. Rick, is that you? He froze. Didn't think I'd remember? You were the kid who almost got his partner shot because you couldn't wait for the signal. His shoulders slumped. Sir, this is your last warning. Step outside now. I smiled. Impatient men always slip up. Why don't you slide your ID under the door first? Silence. The bald one bristled. We don't have to show you anything. You're obstructing an official inspection. That fantasy of authority, the belief that fear equals respect. Through the hedge, I caught Karen's silhouette, crouched with her radio, whispering orders. Go ahead and enter. Don't let him stall. Her voice echoed from my porch speakers, thanks to my doorbell feed. 3 heads turned, Rick's face going pale. She said it's legal, he muttered. Sure. Bet she said it'd make you look like real cops, too. The bald guy reached for his fake pistol. Instinct took over. I sidestepped out of the door's path, thumb brushing my Glock's safety. Don't. For a second, the world held its breath. Karen's voice screeched again. Restrain him already. I laughed, a dry, almost sad sound. You hear that, Rick? That's the sound of someone about to ruin your life. His eyes went wide, understanding finally crashing in. I tapped a button, silent alert, direct to the sheriff. No shouting, just procedure. Outside, the men started to falter. Karen barked, push him harder. Don't show weakness. The younger guy stepped back, nervous, looking like he wanted to run. My phone switched feeds. Karen, in 4K, crouched behind her hedge, clipboard and radio in hand, barking orders like she was in charge of a battalion. I hit the play audio button on my porch speaker. Her voice boomed. Push him harder. Instantly, the men unraveled. Rick's eyes darted to the street. We should go, he whispered. Yeah, you should, I replied. The bald leader pointed at the door, fumbling for the gun again. That's when training takes over. My voice, calm and cold. Drop it now. He hesitated. Karen's voice screeched, startling him, and the fake gun clattered to the wood. Plastic. Empty. The illusion shattered. Congratulations, I said. You just escalated a civil complaint into a federal felony. Sirens were already humming in the distance. They froze, caught, exposed, done. For the first time all morning, I could exhale. The cruisers arrived, red and blue flickering against the pastel houses. Sergeant Moreno stepped out, voice calm and commanding. Jake Mercer, you want to tell me why I've got 3 clowns in tactical vests blocking your driveway? I grinned, relief flooding in. Tried to play cops on my porch. The men put their hands up without a word. That's what real authority does. It doesn't need to shout. The neighborhood watched, jaws dropped, phones out. This was the show they never expected. But Karen wasn't done. Her radio crackled. Don't let them take you. Go inside and get the evidence. The bald one twitched. Rick froze. The youngest panicked, grabbing the doorknob. Moreno barked. Step back. Panic moves faster than orders. The kid yanked, but I'd relocked it. The bald man lunged. I moved, quick, firm, pushing him back. The fake pistols skittered across the porch. Officers cuffed them clean. Karen's voice blared on the radio. I picked it up. Congratulations, Karen. You just made this federal. Deputies found her behind the hedge, clipboard and radio in hand. Posture perfect, but her composure shattered. This isn't what it looks like, she protested. Sure it is, Moreno replied. Obstruction, impersonation, stupidity in beige slacks. Her clipboard fell, papers fluttering like surrender flags. The cruisers pulled away. The quiet that returned felt different. Not the kind you dread, but the kind you earn. Neighbors lingered, whispering, learning the real story. That power isn't in a badge you buy, but in the truth you stand for. A few days later, the HOA held a meeting, nervous and subdued. They disbanded their enforcement subcommittee, handed property disputes to the county. Karen's house went up for sale, quick and quiet. She took a plea, did her time, but the neighborhood changed. Flags reappeared. Lawns grew wild. People waved again, not all smiling, but at least they waved. One day, a sign appeared on my lawn. Welcome home, Officer Mercer. I never found out who put it there. Didn't need to. The message was clear. Truth had outlasted fear. Months later, I'd still get thank yous, a letter from the academy, even a plaque. When neighbors think they're the law, remind them you are. Sometimes I'd stand on my porch, watching the flag wave, listening to the laughter, the dogs barking, Kids riding bikes where rulebooks once ruled the block. That's the sound of real peace, a quiet you can finally trust. So what do you think? Was it justice? Or just another chapter in the war between order and control? Drop a comment. Let me know what justice looks like where you live. If you've got your own story, I want to hear it. Stay sharp, stay honest, and never let a clipboard scare you out of your own home. Thanks for listening.